You know, I'm going to catch a lot of heat for this one. But you know what? I don't give a damn. I took my family to lunch at the Willimantic Brewing Company in Willimantic, Connecticut. And we were having a good time. There was 9 of us. I understand sometimes, but perhaps I don't understand, that when you have large parties, restaurants, they automatically add gratuity, 20% gratuity to your bill. Personally, I don't agree with that. I don't feel that anyone, any business, should add gratuity to anyone's bill. I don't agree with it. A gratuity or tip should be totally left up to the party. And the amount of a tip should be totally left up to the party. Not to the owners of the restaurant, not to the management, and definitely not up to the servers. Well, we asked our server, she gave us our bill. Service was mediocre. You know, we had to wait a long time after we received our appetizers. We had to wait for our entrees. But and refills on drinks and so forth. So I mean, the service was mediocre. But we were okay with that. You know, we had good family time. And the server brought the bill out. And my wife and I, we took the bill. And we asked her to take off the gratuity because we don't like that. I mean, we like paying cash for gratuity. And her gratuity, as you can see, was a little over $47. And she says, well, that's anything over a party of 5 is automatically added. And I asked her politely, I was like, well, can you take that off? We'd like to pay cash for gratuities and tips. She goes, okay, well, I could take it off. And this is exactly how she was talking to us. Well, I could take it off, but you're still going to pay me the $47. I was like, excuse me? Okay. My wife snatched that bill up. She said, no problem, fine, here you go. Now they're going to have to pay a credit card fee on top of that. And actually, she was actually probably about it. She was going to get a higher cash tip than $47. So, you know who you are if you see this. You just beat yourself out of a tip. And you're very lucky that my wife go ahead and paid that on the credit card, because if you would have took that off after your comment, you would have been lucky to get a $5 tip from me. So, first of all, you don't dictate how much of a tip a person leaves you. I don't care what kind of server you are. A tip is just that. A tip is a tip. And you don't dictate to anyone how much of a tip you get. If you get 0, then that's the tip you get, 0. Because it's up to the customer how much you get. And if you don't like that, then you need to get in a different line of work. Because there's no one ever going to dictate to me how much of a tip I'm going to leave from this point on out. Because you start complaining about your tip, or you add that tip to your gratuity to my bill, you will get nothing. So go ahead, leave your comments. Let me hear what you have to say about tips and gratuity being added to your bill, or a server dictating how much you're going to leave them. Because a tip is based upon service. And if you can't be polite and you can't tend to your table and your customers, I don't feel that you need to get a tip or an adequate tip. All right, let me know what you think.